If you guys are ready for another Zumi recap video, let's get to it. Wait, on a second thought, this isn't an anime. Gojo and Sukuna would be appearing if this was an anime, and we would have heard those bells of heaven ringing in our ears. But I guess the Ojo-sama and this hot, Gojo-looking guy are the only ones that can hear heaven's song and noises. What the frick is going on anyway? To tell you quickly, it's something out of an anime or an anime, as this guy was teasing his muse not to make too much noise because a bad girl that makes excuses doesn't deserve a treat. Oh yes, he is having a great feast on his table right now. And that same muse was apologizing frantically for making too much noise so shamelessly. Our honored one couldn't even be happier, and for being a bad girl. You can't blame her though, hee. Getting served well by a great guy like that would definitely make a woman scream. Geez, author was showing his kinks right off the bat. Who is this girl anyway? If only we were as lucky as this guy, we could have brought home such a beautiful woman who was a noble's daughter. You heard that right, dude was able to bring a nobleman's daughter who calls him daddy. It's quite unbelievable to trust him, but this woman is a villainess with the nickname Ice Princess, but her real name is Christina Febster. You see, Christina is already engaged, but his fiancé neglected and humiliated her, calling off their engagement as null and void. Meanwhile, our main character, the hot guy earlier, Kaido Minsk, is there. He's a servant of Christina, and how they end up having that delicious feast will be tackled later. Judging from his right now, his master is in a hot seat because of her dumb fiancé. Despite his hard work in avoiding the red flags that would lead them to that day, their engagement still got broken off. It was declared in front of an audience during a ball, and as expected from the Ice Princess, she had to fight back. This woman is not the type that winds back on her crib easily. She got a nickname for a reason. She needs an explanation from the prince as to why he's declaring their engagement as a null. Of course, without proper explanation, it was the crown prince with a name that goes by Prince Willis, telling Christina, "Can you look her in the eyes and say that again?" Pointing to this innocent-looking girl who was also backed by 3 other men. Must be a party of some other stuff. This girl is a baron's daughter, and so Christina looked at her like she was a low human to look down upon. "You seem to be getting along with His Highness quite well," said Christina, with knowing eyes that suspected her fiancé and the poor girl were having an affair somehow. Of course, being a gentleman, he desperately portrays himself. He covers his precious area as if Christina's eyes are shooting her with daggers. Christina was embarrassed in the whole crowd all for this girl, so she wouldn't back down on getting the same thing back to them. She called upon Arya Shirla, the Baron's daughter, the same of the girl who doesn't know her place, with such authority. Not minding the consequences and the possibility of getting beheaded just like what happened to Anna Boleyn. Prince Willis was about to argue back, but Christina stood firm in her beliefs, knowing damn well that Arya was a nobody without the Baron's family name. And the fact that she talks to the Crown Prince Willis so casually is concerning, not just that, but also how to the prince who is freely mingling with Arya despite knowing he's already engaged. The red flag here is Prince Willis itself, off with his head for coveting with a neighbor. Nah, just kidding. I don't make the rules here. Anyway, MC witnessed this harsh argument between the characters of the love triangle. He also knows about what is going on. Even Arya, who was raised by a commoner before entering a prestigious royal school, sure does stand out among the students because of her eccentric dialect from where she came from. Among those shining people were the crown prince and the other noble boys who were kept on her palm as she outrageously clung to them. Since Christina was the original fiancé, it was an unacceptable act for her, but she was willing to give her a warning and overlook the situation. However, it continues to happen multiple times, and she doesn't want to be like Catherine of Aragon, who will tolerate the prince by letting him do what he does with Arya. So it can't be helped if you're laughed at just like that brainless fool, right? Since the crown prince wasn't the only guy who was playing on Arya's palm, she got 3 more boys who were willing to defend her name. Pointing fingers at Christina by mentioning all the bad deeds she did to Arya, like stealing her stuff, locking her up in the classroom, pouring water on her, and even pushing her down the stairs. The usual little bit harmless pranks that high school bullies do. But you can't judge her. Arya was being a flirt. However, Christina said that she didn't do any of that stuff, which was unbelievable for the others as if they witnessed her doing such a thing. Christina wasn't playing innocent, certain that she didn't do anything harsh towards the beloved Arya. Isn't it just that girl's misunderstanding? You, Highness, and your friends as well. I would appreciate it if you'd word it more rationally, said the Ice Princess, looking at them with piercing eyes. Even her servant, NC, was worried that it might have the opposite effect. Well, he wasn't strong because, as a last resort, the Crown Prince exiled Christina out of the country and was engaged with Arya instead, as expected from the mistress and the two-timer. It never gets old, huh? Christina couldn't believe that he was free to do such a thing just because he was a crown prince, which was unfair. He even had the audacity to call it a kindness for not taking her life instead. So without any option, she had to follow his orders. But before she could go off, Prince Willis wanted her to say something to Arya first. Christina gave it a thought first while Arya felt bad about her situation and was about to say something. Christina smiled at her with soft eyes, a rare sight to see from the Ice Princess, as she told Arya, "Thank you." Something unexpected after a heated argument. Arya was confused by what she meant by that, so Christina explained that Prince Willis wasn't really his type. She exposed how Prince Willis just considers Christina as a woman with no love and tells her things like, "The only reason you're the crown princess is because of your family status and you're too pushy for a woman." Such audacity coming from a cheater like him. But in order to become a good queen, Christina had to refrain from backbiting and remain a well-behaved woman for the crown prince's sake. Prince Willis' ego was stepped with that, but Christina was having too much fun to stop now, so she further pointed out that she was in despair during their engagement. Thankfully, a miracle happened. Arya being the cause for breaking their engagement, to be freed from the fooling prince, I'm truly grateful from the bottom of my heart. Her gaze was softer than ever as she bowed and thanked everyone, telling them that she'd pray for everyone's health and happiness. It was rather a different feeling seeing the Ice Princess that way and speaking in that soft tone. "Prince Willis, it's your loss." With that, Christina left with her servant, MC, by her side. As they walked outside the hall, MC pointed out how she left such an amazing parting remark at not only Arya and Prince Willis, but also the entire audience in the hall was left speechless. Of course, as expected from a composed and remarkable Ice Princess. On Christina's side, she felt the need to say everything she needed to say before it was too late. She even had more of it that wasn't for the time. "But a single memorable remark is better than 1,000 insults," said Christina, which was worth quoting. MC, supportive as ever, agreed to Christina's calling the lame crown prince foolish in front of many people. That's something he won't forget. Definitely the best parting insult he could get. That aside, Christina wondered what MC would do now that she was exiled from the country. But this man is loyal to the princess as a servant, and wherever she goes, he follows. Something straight out of a romantic novel. But it is a romantic genre according to its tags. But oh wait, what's this other one? Let's forget you didn't see that, haha. Well anyway, Christina is worried because she'll no longer be the Duke's daughter, but MC thinks otherwise because regardless as long as she's in the country, Christina will remain as the Duke's daughter, and he will continue to serve her. Once we're out of this country, let's think about it when the time comes. Assured MC, not wanting his master to worry about his well-being because he is as determined to continue serving. Mum, no wonder he serves her a good feast earlier in the video. Christina was thankful to have someone like him in her life. Someone she could rely on no matter what. But before everything else, let's rewind about a decade later when MC came to this unknown world via, you know it, isekai. He was reincarnated into this world where magic exists. The usual isekai world. MC couldn't remember how he died in his previous life, and his memories were turning vague. But now that it's a new world, new life, new body, he can't resist getting fired up like a chunabu, or in other words, a literal delusional syndrome. Anyway, moving on, since MC was a reincarnated guy, he was pretty much aware of his surroundings, even as a child. And the moment he learned how to speak, he immediately learned magic, which surprised his family. Something his older brother can't even do, so you can say he's a prodigy. MC's family, the Minsk, is a small and weak barony from a remote region, so MC spent his childhood hunting monsters as he fulfilled his duty as a noble. A weak one, but don't judge our MC. He worked hard to raise his level and made his older brother proud, encouraging him that he would turn into an adventurer once he'd grown up. Every younger sibling loves to hear, it really expands your sibling's lifespan, so go be nice to your siblings. As years passed, MC steadily improved his strength and level until he turned 7 years old. That's when the Duke of Minsk changed his fate. Like every father in this kind of world is so powerful that it can change the fate of one person. As long as you're a male with power, there's no limit. They were informed that the Duke had a daughter around his age, and his father encouraged him to be its servant. Of course, this is something MC doesn't want to do, not wanting to be a servant and want to fulfill his dream as an adventurer. However, the time came when the Duke and his daughter met MC and his father. It was Christina Febstar, the Ice Princess, as an innocent child, and that's when MC knew that he was in the world of a video game that his sister recommended, the Odone game world. He was so obsessed with it. That's when he knew that Christina was the Ice Princess, and he knew about the character's existence even when they were born, events that would happen before it would happen. Like the omniscient reader's viewpoint, you know. He knew from the start that Christina was fated to be condemned as a villainess after playing pranks on the heroine, and later to be exiled from the country. Like what happened earlier, that's why no matter how much he intervened, he still can't change its fate. Furthermore, MC knew the pitiful points that Christina endured with the Crown Prince, whom she was engaged to before her birth. Since Prince Willis lacked supporters, his father needed some type of support, and that's when the Duke of Febstar and the Crown Prince's father made a bond. Therefore, their son and daughter's marriage was created crazy, right? It's a very 18th century mindset and law. Moreover, since Christina's mother was the queen who married someone of lower status, she still carries royal blood, making her the perfect match for the lame prince. The reason why she was called the Ice Princess is that she was ridiculed because of her stoic and blank look and cold attitude, which resulted in her education to become the queen more strict. Christina originally had a very hard-working personality. If it wasn't for her engagement with Prince Willis, then the Crown Prince could have been in danger because of the angry people. So for the sake of the king and queen who treats her well, she distances herself from the heroine while Christina is alone. And the audacity of Prince Willis to exile someone who neglects herself for his sake. Unacceptable. Furthermore, in Christina's villain origin, the pain worsens when her mother, the only person who understood her most, dies from illness. This also resulted in his father distant himself by immersing himself in work to cope with the loss, not knowing that he is also losing his daughter, the only family he has left. Now that she has anyone who understands her, she eventually comes to ruin. At least that's how the original game goes, which sucks to become the villainess. Fortunately, MC was there to change her fate. Even though, at first, he doesn't intend to become her servant, seeing her up close like that, he doesn't see a villain, but rather an angel. Those Dan Devil producers, in their first encounter together, Christina was hyped to know that MC could use magic even though they were the same age. He can see how pure-hearted she is, and he can't bear to let her get exiled 10 years from then. So he decides to interfere with fate and willingly asks Christina to let him be his servant. Weird way to propose, but yes I do. He promises to protect her anywhere and from any kind of disaster. With their new bond as master and servant, MC did his best to eliminate the flags that would lead to her becoming the villainess and becoming the ice goddess-like princess. Christina was raised to become admirable, both women and men. That's why MC was certain that they avoided the condemnation event. Or so he thought. The moment Arya moved into the school a year later, she was able to seduce all the main characters of the game in no time, and MC wasn't able to save Arya from the condemnation event. But that doesn't mean it's the end. Unlike the game, which has an unseen ending, MC is living and breathing in that same world. He still gets to execute his plan B together with Christina. As they ran away together, MC asked Christina to change into better shoes as they journeyed towards the safe house in the village near their place. "You sure prepared well, MC," said Christina. "Girl, this guy literally knows the whole plot from the beginning." Anyway, MC explained that they must be ready in case something unexpected happened, but he knew that it was something she wouldn't believe. He further explained that it might be dangerous for them since the engagement was broken in front of the masses, but he didn't get to finish it because Christina knew he already had something in mind. Trusting MC a little too much. Well, they practically grew up together over the decade in it. As they walked further, they later arrived at a not-so-big, but not-so-small, cabin in the middle of the woods. The place seemed to be clean and was maintained well, so they sought shelter there temporarily. As they enter the house, MC welcomes Christina, tending to her needs since he's still a servant anyway. He was about to get her a drink after that long walk, but before he could go on his way, Christina called him out and rushed towards him for a hug. "Ooh, I think we're nearing the best part here." MC was confused about her sudden gesture, but Christina couldn't endure it anymore, not helping the overwhelming she had over the years. Finally, no one would complain, said Christina, looking at MC as if she really had been enduring not the pain from the crown prince, but by something from within her, like under there, probably. She had waiting for a long time to be his servant in the sheets. Wow, the tables have turned, for the better. Being with Christina is definitely the right choice MC made. Now I pray to the god of trucks to send me and the people who are watching this into another world like MC has. SHTU, since we already talked about the origin of MC's story, why not talk about the beloved Christina Febster as well? We can see here who she really loves. Is it MC, her childhood best friend and servant? Or the lame, cheater, ungentlemanly crowned Prince Willis? Not to sound biased, but you know. Since MC is the main character, of course, we're going to be biased here. Once you get the title of the main character, you're definitely indestructible. Maybe, except for Aaron or Ashlinks, but let's not hope for that. For Christina, MC is the only boy for her, aside from her father. But you know, someone who actually cares about her well-being. MC has been with her ever since, even though he was trained as an attendant. It was like he was her right hand now. Unlike the original game that MC played, Christina also had lonely days, especially with her training as a queen. But thanks to him, it was never lonely. MC has been spreading good words about Christina whenever he has the opportunity, although it was part of MC's plan to give Christina the most well-talked and admirable reputation. Since he's just a kid talking about a girl at such a young age, people call him one of Christina's most devoted followers, or you know, puppy love. Still, because of those good words he put to her, Christina was able to close the gap she has with everyone, maids and servants in the house. MC is definitely good with words. I wonder what else he's good at. However, even if MC and Christina put in the hard work, she was still fated to be the next queen, something already inevitable. Because of this, she is confused about what to really feel, but one thing is for certain. The love she has for MC is real, but will never come to fruition. Damn, game developers are writing such sad stories for the villain. Anyway, her love for him was strengthened and proved even more when her mother, the queen, sacrificed herself to block the curse that was supposedly aimed at Christina. Her mother collapsed on the floor, and her father as well, but later ordered the legendary class catalysts in the kingdom to reverse the curse as he wondered how they got such a threatening item. As Christina was sad at the incident, feeling depressed and lonely, the others, even his father, were there to remind her that a queen should control her emotions. Wanting her to neglect what she's feeling and keep it hidden. Because of that, Christina was taught not to show any emotions despite the ongoing dilemma she had about not being able to help and could only watch her mother suffer. It must be so confusing for a little girl. These producers really have no mercy for a child. Off with their heads, I'm kidding. Thanks to MC, who was previously born in 20th century life, he knew well that Christina shouldn't be keeping her emotions hidden. With an angry face and a few screams, he encouraged her, go ahead and cry. Not crying when you want to. That's not how you control your emotions. He made it loud and clear to Christina that in order not to become a cold-hearted person, she shouldn't hide it. It was an eye-opener for Christina, and since she was feeling overwhelmed by the situation and MC's screaming, she gave in and hugged MC, asking him to help her mother. A kid shouldn't hide their emotions. Although she just accidentally blurted that out, she thought it was impossible for MC to do. But there's nothing impossible for him. He got the most powerful title, main character. With Christina asking for help, MC didn't hesitate to journey to seek the ancient dragon's scale for 3 days, only to come back covered with wounds and dirt all over his body. All for a single scale of the dragon to be used to heal Christina's mother. However, it doesn't seem like MC did it for the sake of the mother, but rather it was for Christina, as proof that he is a man of his word when he says, I'll protect you from all misfortunes. Damn, speaking like a true hero indeed. Because of his sacrifice and determination, he was able to save Christina's mother, unlike the original one where she died, leading to Christina's villainous origin. Her family is indebted to him, willing to grant him any wish he desires. But since MC is too kind and selfless, he only wishes for Christina to always be happy. Geez, who's cutting onion this early? His words and gaze melted Christina on the spot, not literally, but you could see how much she loved him even more for protecting her and caring for her, something she needed most. That's why, because of that date, Christina swore never to give up on him. That is, in a way, she will also do her best and work as hard as him to be a perfect duchess, as well as understanding that her time and personality won't be for the crown prince. But for others as well, for them to trust her more than the prince until he despises his existence. That prince really has the lowest ego, huh? Look at him being envious together with his also misogynistic friend. And since the crown prince, Willis, was a petty guy who didn't have anything else to talk ill about Christina, he was calling her someone who was only a crown princess because of her family's power. And without them, Christina would be nobody. Speaking for yourself, Prince Willis, he's nothing more than a crown prince, can't even be faithful to a woman, but more for the kingdom and the throne. Well, since our precious Christina doesn't mind, we won't as well. She basked in Prince Willis' nonsense and pointless slander integrating her because, in the end, she wanted to give her everything to Annecy only. According to Christina, when I think about it like that, they start to sound like a blessing. And I hear you, girl. That's why when Prince Willis declared their engagement as annulled, deep within her, she was relieved and happy because she could finally give her everything to Annecy without a limit. Still, Annecy must do the pull and shoot or else it'll be a whole 9 months of pain. Be responsible, folks. When they moved into a remote part of the village where they were only surrounded by trees and pretty much nothing more, Christina gave Annecy a glimpse of her feast and instrument. She had been waiting for them to take the feast since they passed the border. But it seems to me that Christina was hungry since her feelings for Annecy were developed. Right then, Christina was acting like she was the one to serve him instead of the other way around. Christina sure does a really good-looking feast with her under those thick linens. Even Annecy's brain can't fathom this moment. MC panicked, not knowing what to do since he was her attendant, not her serving him instead. However, for Christina, now that she was exiled from the country, she is no longer a duchess but a mere woman. And since she's no longer a duchess, MC doesn't have anyone to serve, which makes him a mere man. It's like she planned this moment since the beginning. Of course, this isn't something to be taken easily, especially for MC, knowing that committing premarital intimacy with another man while being the crown prince's partner is a huge scandal. And if that happens, Christina's possible chance of going back as a duchess would be down to 0. That would also make him unemployed as he is right now. So to stop it from happening, MC, in his panic mode yet aroused more, tried to suggest an alternative idea to give Christina the same feelings as accepting the feast she offered. Assuming that he had already got it figured out in the first place. There's no way in a million years he would ever expect the Duchess to have this kind of side. However, the Duchess doesn't want that. All she wants is for him to forget about each other's status, and don't want to hear him forcing her back to the crown prince, because all she ever wants is MC himself. She yelled at him, feeling as though she was very upset for having her real feelings rejected that way. Christina has a deep void within her that only MC can fill, so she reminds him that he promised to make her happy, and in order for him to do so, he has to make Christina his bride or something more than it but, at the same time, less. MC and Christina have spent half of their years growing up together, and seeing her eyes so soft and vulnerable as she shed tears, MC knew that Christina was giving her best in that moment. It's visible that her dedication wasn't driven by desperation, but rather something that she kept hidden deep within her heart, in other words, her true and real feelings. Man, if that was me, I would become like water, going with the flow in her river. After a while of thinking and considering lots of things, MC decided to follow what his heart said and approached Christina without saying anything. Only to give her a passionate kiss to say that he was feeling the same way. Ro decided it's time to let the servant era fade away. It's a now or never decision, and he made the right choice. After that deep meaningful kiss they shared, MC had to ask for another confirmation whether it was okay for her or not. Because permission matters, right ladies? Christina said, "Stop calling me like that," referring to him still calling her a duchess or a master. "I'm just a woman." And since MC isn't someone who is hard to talk to, he enveloped his arm to her neck as he pulled her closer to him, saying, "I'm going to embrace you now." And as he says those words with that heart-throbbing hand placement, Christina can't help but get teary-eyed because she's been dreaming and hoping for this day to come, and now it does. Looks like these two lovebirds have upgraded from counting the days to making every moment count. Here's to unlimited cuddles, endless laughter, and happily ever after in the making. Besides, we're all here for the plot, right? The fun part is yet to start. As they undress the carrots, Christina couldn't help but feel embarrassed. But that was a little too late now because MC was getting hungry. He had to feed him and his son, Little John. Well, Not to make her feel invalidated because Christina was feeling insecure about herself, unsure if MC would like her carrot. When I thought about that, I suddenly felt scared and embarrassed. Christina said, blushing madly at her first time showcasing her cooking show to MC. Meanwhile, in MC's head, this is one of those what's this cute creature moments, huh? It turns out that MC loves her carrot, thinking it's a charming one. As expected from a duchess of course, she was taken care of gently and kindly. Even MC's son approved of her carrots. To continue this amazing vibe in their new house, Christina proceeded to take out the eggplant, fresh from the roots. Seeing it raw like that, she wasn't expecting to see such a big, thick eggplant that MC had been growing all his years. Damn, this guy must be confident with his eggplant so much. He's doing it with closed eyes. But in reality, MC was keeping his consciousness together, knowing that this wasn't part of the game he loved to play. But since he had already interfered with it more than once, how is that surprising MC? In his head, he keeps on reminding himself, blaming but at the same time, thankful that he rigged too much doujinshi, that it went into his dream world and new life. He should be thankful for doing those in his previous life. Y'all should also be thankful for this channel, so I can continue feeding y'all with love. Anyway, Christina looked at Little John with admiration, finally getting to see that kind of creature in person, which looked way different from the books she read. Guess there's a lot of stuff this duchess read before. As she was playing with MC's son, MC was getting embarrassed and slightly looked away, telling her, "We can stop if you're scared." I mean, I heard it's actually scary the first time. This wrong sentence changed Christina's mood in a switch. This is why boys should be more careful with their words. Girls are different kinds of detectives. Christina asked who told him that, suspecting that it was a maid from the Febster house named Lydia. She got those bangs that look like Christina's, so yeah. Can't blame the guy. MC didn't deny this, admitting that it was Lydia who popped his cherry. Well, for male servants to serve a female master, someone has to relieve the stress they're feeling because it was deemed important in their world. That's why other servants inside the household were usually assigned to help them with their stress. Like pairing up two gamers for a private session in one night. I could word that out properly for you to understand, but we can't have you two poking him on our back. Hearing that news was a bit disappointing for Christina, wanting to take all of MC's first times and vice versa. But she can't be mad at him because she can't blame him, so instead, she would rather be competitive as she asked MC if Lydia used her special wipers to wipe out the dust on his eggplant. MC said she couldn't fit everything in, so only the tip. This brings hope to Christina to do it better than how Lydia does, so she goes to work as MC's new and only servant. Sheesh, this guy is lucky for choosing a villainess. Experiencing it live and on the spot gives different kinds of feelings in MC's core, not expecting her to be so good in her performance. So, embarrassingly, Christina confessed that she had been doing her research on how to give the best blow to an eggplant. She even used a practice model to help her cook it well, all while thinking about MC's homegrown eggplant. The usually cool Duchess really did that in her room the middle of the night. Who would have thought, huh? To think that Christina was also doing these kinds of things secretly just for MC made him realize that she wasn't bluffing about wanting to be his woman. He could even feel her sincere emotions through his veins and up to those roots of the so-called eggplant. And so, as things got intense with Christina cooking in the kitchen, MC was also almost full with her meal. The way she looked at him with thirsty eyes wasn't helping until he couldn't take it anymore and shot out all the icing from inside. "It's flowing. Spoil everything, you damn Duchess," said MC getting frustrated in a good way, while Christina did what he told him like a real servant. The tables have turned for real now, huh? Right after they finished the first session of the feast, there was no holding back. MC was now determined to make Christina his woman that night. Christina can't help but get excited at the possible activities they're gonna do for that night's ritual of bonding two souls together. So she lays too relaxed and suggests something ambiguous. Even as a beginner baker, this girl wants to level it up by making cream pies. Gotta be careful out there, MC. Protections aren't invented yet. Anyway, Christina wanted to do it on top of him, but she probably got tired from the previous session and wants MC to take over for now as the chief baker. So, as the chief baker, MC opened the oven to see if it was warm enough to put his bread in, which it seemed it was. He opens it up like how cartoons do it. Once again, Christina was embarrassed to show this side to MC, but that's something neither of them could stop already. Once you started it, you can't stop it. Basic rules in baking, just trust the process. To ease the tension and shyness between them, MC decided to do a little roleplay, showing off his kink for a bit as he asked her, "So, Slave Chris, where and what do you want? I won't move an inch unless you say it, you know." It was in a challenging tone, trying to push the right buttons for Christina to participate in this little play to grow more comfortable with each other. With that, she blurted out that she wanted his special rod to test out the oven, but it wasn't acceptable to her master, MC, who wanted to hear something more appealing and suitable for her position as a slave. So, amid the embarrassment and shyness that can be heard in her voice, Christina used the D word, which we cannot say cause of obvious reasons. She even said neat rod, what the hell. But our boy is playing hard to get, both figuratively and literally. Well, I'll end the video here. Let me know if you want more of these.